We're continuing with the halachot of the Pirkei Avot. We're on Perek Bet, Mishnah Yud Gimel, where the Mishnah says, "Ve'eveh zahir b'kriyat Shema." You have to be very, very careful with the halachot with Kriyat Shema. So the poskim, they come and they ask a very interesting question: is there an isur or a prohibition, or the opposite? Is there a chiyuv that if somebody's sleeping, would you be obligated to wake them up in order to say Kriyat Shema bizmanah? It's a very interesting question. You have somebody that they're sleeping, and now the time of Kriyat Shema is passing. Do you have the obligation to wake them up, or is it an isur to wake them up? Maybe it's an isur because gezel shena, you're stealing sleep, or maybe it's an obligation because at the end of the day, how could it be that they're going to miss Kriyat Shema? So the Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Belichot Shlomo, comes and he writes, since a person when he's sleeping, right, there's no chiyuv of Kriyat Shema tefillah, because then he's like a shoteh gamur. Right, he's like a person that he's not 100% with it because he's sleeping. So therefore, he will not be punished, right, on that time that he didn't say Kriyat Shema, but he's like honest. So therefore, maybe if we're going to hold like that, so then there's no obligation to wake him up. Just like a person that goes to sleep, right, on Sukkot, in a sukkah, and he's chaser makom b'sukkah. And then all of a sudden, when he's sleeping, they come and they take them out. You remember the famous story of the yeshivot, that they would come, they would sleep in the sukkah, and there wasn't enough space in the sukkah, so when the guys were sleeping, other boys would come, they would pick up the bed and carry him out. That must have been a good feeling if they would have woken up, right? But they're carrying him out on the bed, and then they put him inside the dormitory. So when the guy wakes up, he's already sleeping in the dormitory. But why? Because when he was already sleeping, he's patur from the sukkah, because he's sleeping. So therefore, while he's already patur, then they come and they take him out, and they put him inside of the dormitory, and then the next person goes to sleep in the sukkah. However, though, if a person knows for sure that after he's going to sleep in the sukkah, they're going to take him out, for sure he can't sleep there. It's like a person that comes and he's going to see somebody sleeping, right? And he has the tzitziot. He doesn't have to come in order to take the tzitziot from the beged if he doesn't have the tzitzit on the actual beged. Why? Because at the time when he's sleeping, at the end of the day, he's not obligated in tzitzit. And that is the psak of the Yavetz. The Yavetz comes and he says somebody that's sleeping is not bar chiyuva and he's patur mina mitzvot. So therefore he comes and he says that there's no problem whatsoever. However, though, the Shtei Chemed comes mifurash, and he says it's not true. He says, "Amotzi et chavero yoshem besukah, bitel et chavero mitzvat hashena besukah," and also the Ben Ish Chai says the same thing, which means, comes the Shtei Chemed and he says, if you come and you take someone outside of the sukkah, you are annulling them from the mitzvah of the sukkah. And more than so, says the Ben Ish Chai, if somebody goes to sleep during Kriyat Torah, right, and therefore you're obligated to wake them up in the middle of Kriyat Torah during Sukkot, because he's not sleeping in the Sukkah. How could it be that he just fell asleep in the Bet Knesset? Forget about the yisur of sleeping in the Bet Knesset or sleeping during Kriyat of the Sefer Torah. At the end of the day, he's on Sukkot, he has to sleep in the Sukkah. How could it be that you have to wake him up? So he says, the Sefer Chasidim brings, Haben Shabed Yador Revach Ve'aviv Yashen. What happens right now if the son could make a lot of money and the father's sleeping? So he says, we learn from Dama ben Netina, you're not supposed to wake him up. But if the Revach is to the father, and the father's going to lose money, and therefore, when he's going to wake up, he's going to be more upset, and the father and the son knows that obviously the father would want him to come and to wake him up, it's a mitzvah to wake him up. Because since the father is happy, it's a mitzvah. The same thing to go to the Bet Knesset, that it's a dvar mitzvah, so therefore it's a mitzvah to wake up your father. Which means, you right now, you're walking around in the house, wandering around, you realize 1 second, it's already the time of tefillah. So you say your father's sleeping. So now if you're going to wake up your father, you're being over an isur. But you know that your father's going to be happy. What? It's tefillah betzibur. What, he's going to miss it? It's a mitzvah to come and to wake up your father. And you're not going to come and be over on the isur. So Ladina, he says, Vadai, that according to all the deot, it's proper to wake up your friend also for Kriyat Shema. But he says that even though you don't have a chiyuv as a person that he's sleeping, he's obviously not with it. However, though the svara is that you want to be mizakeh oto in the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. And therefore, it's proper to actually wake them up in order to read the Kriyat Shema. Now, even though the Achronim come and they speak about, okay, maybe there's Isur Gezel Shena, Rav Chaim Kanievsky Alav Shalom wrote, the Baalei Musar Chidshu, Shameid Adam Mishena over al Isur Gezel Shena, Maaseh, it's only because of the din of Avtal Lecha Kamocha. So for sure, it's Asur to stam, wake up somebody for no reason, but all these things is just, it's not 100% there, and therefore for sure, you should actually come in to wake them up. And the Shevet HaLevi also says, Shu mivatel tovato shel chavero. When you come and you're not going to wake them up, you're actually getting rid of something good for your friend. So therefore, since you know that it's going to be something good to wake him up in order to say Kriyat Shema, for sure it's actually something good to wake them up in order to say the Kriyat Shema that's going to be a mitzvah, and you know that he should be happy when he's going to be doing this mitzvah.